I'm so excited to introduce our next speaker. She's a good friend of mine and someone who I really admire very much, Fereshteh Forough. She is the founder and executive director of Code to Inspire. Fereshteh is also someone I've known probably since about 2014. She's been involved in Bitcoin since very early on. But more importantly, she is a true pioneer and a leader in her pursuit to educate and empower young women and girls in Afghanistan through coding. Getting a little emotional here. I'm really inspired every day, literally, by the work that she and Code to Inspire are doing. We have actually even hired a Code to Inspire graduate, Nahid, who is our web developer and actually produced the website for this event. So here to share with you how she and her team are rebuilding Afghanistan 2.0 with Afghan Girls Code is Fereshteh Forough. Welcome, Fereshteh.
Thank you so much, Connie. Really appreciate the kind introduction. I think you're very kind to me, and I always enjoy working with you guys, especially what we have done together. So very happy and humbled to be alongside all these amazing speakers today. Well, yeah, as you said, I think it's like a marathon today, so I hope that I can make everyone stay and enjoy the session and hopefully change their perspective a little bit about Afghanistan and what's going on around the world, and especially women in technology. So I would like to share my screen, show my presentation. Okay, and please do let me know when you see the screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Awesome. Perfect. So yeah, so giving you a little bit of a background of myself and what really inspired me to create Code to Inspire. It's a picture of my family when we were refugees in Iran, and that little girl with the short hair, the white, it's me. It's certainly very different from, I think, when I was a kid looking. So being born as a refugee in Iran, my family had to leave Afghanistan due to the war and the Soviet invasion. And as you can imagine, as a refugee, you technically put everything behind you and trying to find a safe haven and find a place that you can help your family and, you know, find and secure a good future for them. But certainly with being a refugee, there's a lot of challenges as well. And for me, accessing education was one of the most important challenges that I faced. Being born in Iran, as a refugee, you had to show certain papers to the faculties, universities, or schools that they could let you go. And without showing that paper, you wouldn't be able to access education. And unfortunately, one of my siblings actually missed a year of education. So from the very young age, I really understood the value of education and how it is important. And I remember that my mom was an entrepreneur. She learned how to stitch and make dresses, and by selling them, she could bring money to the family and also invest in the girls' education. So I learned that great things can start with empty hands, and no matter what you are or what you have, the most important thing is that you have faith in yourself and you pursue what you love. So with that being said, we actually moved to Afghanistan in 2002, 1 year after the fall of Taliban. And it was certainly a very interesting area and a time for me because I've never saw Afghanistan. It was only on pictures. It was always a very dark image of war and destructions in Afghanistan. And when we went to Afghanistan, I was very happy because I felt that, wow, like this is the country that I belong to. So everyone can accept me and I won't be subject of discriminations in a place like Iran because everyone look at you as an unwanted guest. And I think a lot of people think of a refugee as like you're a burden in the community and you're here to, you know, steal the opportunities from people. So I was certainly very happy when we get back in, and I was able to get my bachelor in computer science from from the Herat University. And then I received a scholarship. I went to Germany and I got my master's in computer science from Technical University of Berlin went back and taught as a computer science professor for about 3 years in the university. So I can say that we'll talk about 2002. It's Taliban just left Afghanistan, so it's very different era and time for women going to school, accessing education and workforce. And I think that a lot of people just remember Afghanistan like that. They think still Afghanistan is such a war zone. It's a dark image and there's no progress. But just to let you know that during the Taliban regime, there were only 0 female participation in the school and workforce. But then after when the US invaded Afghanistan, but also a lot of international communities started to help Afghanistan to grow, we have nearly about 7 million children now are enrolled in the school, which around 37% or 2.5 million of them are girls. So there's a huge progress happening in Afghanistan, not only within the education sector, but in a lot of other places that I think a lot of people don't know about it. For example, 90% of residential areas in Afghanistan coverage with telecom, and 28 million people in Afghanistan do access phone, and 8 million people in Afghanistan access internet. So there's a lot of numbers that I think a lot of people around the world don't know about it. And I think that's how social media plays. They don't play a fair game, especially showing good stories about different part of the world. So yeah, for me, really the idea of creating Code to Inspire was certainly very personal, again, because of my background as a refugee born, but also a woman in technology who faced a lot of challenges and backlash and threats within the community because I was very vocal and outspoken. And I know the value of how it is important to invest in girls' education, but also technology. So with that being said, I really established Code to Inspire for 3 main important pillars. One, to create a very safe and secure educational environment for these young ladies so that they come there and their family trust us in sending their daughters, and it would be free of verbal sexual harassments and they feel comfortable about it and boost their self-esteem. Second, we offer the school for free. We don't charge students because a lot of them come from a challenging financial backgrounds, and it is important for us to include any girls from different backgrounds. And the third, which is the most important pillar of the work, is that what kind of technical skills we can teach these young ladies so that it can be translated either into employment opportunities, not only within the local community, but also globally. And then entrepreneurship, how they can create their own startups and help the community to thrive and grow. And also outsourcing and remote projects, if you can find companies outside of Afghanistan to send them remote work. So it was actually January 2015, which we raised $20,000 and we received 20 laptops in kind donations that time from Overstock, that we were able to open the first computer coding school for girls in Afghanistan, November 2015. We started with 50 girls, and our program is a 1-year after school program. And our students are mainly college students, mainly between 18 to 25-year-old. And right now, we've educated more than 250 girls in our coding school in different classes. We offer mobile application, graphic design, game development, and recently we also have a blockchain cryptocurrency class that I will talk about it more. So also with the data that we have, 60% of our graduates actually found employment within their community, and 10% of our graduates actually created their own startups and companies. And we actually received 20 remote paid projects, which we secured actually $20,000 with them. And these are the money that the girls received for the first time ever. And for a lot of them, they are the breadwinner and help the family. We have students who make double or triple than the men in the family now, because the average income monthly salary in Afghanistan is $150. And we have now some graduates and students who make $300, $400. And so that's very important for us to help our students become financially independent so that they can be a voice within their community and also in the family. We also have done a lot of social impact projects, either through entertainment apps or educational games, to really raise awareness about the work we do. For example, one of the games that we created was Afghan Hero Girl game, which the superhero of the game was a girl wearing traditional outfit of Afghanistan. And it was very important for us because we wanted to show the diversity and inclusion within the gaming industry, but also representation and showing the young girls in Afghanistan that your voice matter. And also you can be a superhero and you can, go through the challenges as you're going through the challenges in a daily lives in a reality as well. So kind of like a background about how I personally get involved into the cryptocurrency and blockchain community was very interesting. And I think it's just like when you are in a situation that you're just like looking for an option that can really work and solve issues, that was the time that I really learned about it. With the previous project that I was working, we were sending money to the girls in Afghanistan for their work. They were producing blog contents and digital content. And it was very difficult because when we wanted to send the money to the girls, first of all, we wanted to try PayPal, and PayPal does not operate locally in Afghanistan. So we couldn't send the money to them through PayPal. Majority of the girls that we wanted to send the money were unbanked, or even they were underage, so they couldn't create a bank account. So they could rely on a family member bank account. And we weren't sure if they're going to receive the money firsthand or if the family will just take the money and won't give them the money. It's also a general lack of proper documentation in Afghanistan because of the conflict and war happening in different parts of Afghanistan. And a lot of the families try to go to other cities that are safer. Maybe they lose their documents. So it's very difficult to show their documentation to the bank because the banks require documentation. And also we wanted to use Western Union. But also the fee are very costly. Imagine if a girl is getting paid $50 and then you have to pay about maybe $8 to $10 for the fee. So it's a lot of money for a girl in Afghanistan and a family. It can feed a family for a day or so. So these were all the challenges, even though we decided to send money to my friend and then she go and see people and give them in cash. That was very difficult for her in case of security. And it was mid-2014 that I learned about crypto and Bitcoin. I thought that's such a fascinating technology and very disruptive, especially with the promise of helping people who are underprivileged, who are unbanked, and are not able to access equal resources. And that's why when I started working with Coach and Aspire, try to teach our students how they can create their own wallet so that in case of receiving payments, they can just receive the payments firsthand and they don't need us to be the middle person for them. And they can be the sole owner of their own financial. And also with the organization itself, since then we started accepting donations through cryptocurrency. We accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we also are a believer in holding the crypto for a longer term because we believe in this technology. And I think we are one of the very rare nonprofits that really hold the crypto saving that we had so far and never cash it out. So we're very grateful of the people who've been supporting us and donating us also cryptocurrency. Although it's a very life-changing technology, and there's a tremendous need for such a technology in countries like Afghanistan, but there's also obstacles, but also opportunities. For example, when we sent the crypto to our students in Afghanistan, one of the issues they faced was how to cash it out because there weren't any exchange who could support Afghani, the fiat currency, to exchange that. So we try to act as an exchange ourselves. And then when the girls come and wanted to cash out their crypto, we would give them the cash. So that's a big issue and a challenge here in case of people embracing it and accepting it, because at some point, some people need cash. So that's an issue, but we're very eager to see how we can tackle that. And one of the issues that we try to do is that how we can maybe import an ATM, Bitcoin, a Bitcoin ATM, and kind of, be partnered with the local exchanges who exchange, dollar to Afghani or other currencies, and see if they are interested to help us with the community and growing it. So that's something that we are very keen and eager, and we talked to a couple of people and partners, and we are very interested to see how we can implement that. In case of the educational aspects, well, it's such a new technology in Afghanistan. We are one of the very first people or organizations who are talking about this and also taking an initiative to bring it to Afghanistan. So there's certainly a lot of educational gap in case of understanding what is this technology and how people can use it. Even with our students, when we started it, they kind of like had a little bit of a doubt of like, really, like, is it something we can trust? Is it something that we can use? How does that work? And that made us to think about, well, why not? Maybe we should have a class for blockchain and crypto, and kind of like teaching the fundamentals of like, how does it work? How to create a wallet? How to secure it? And right now our goal is to really work also on creating more like decentralized apps, smart contracts, Ethereum, and other technologies that we think that really can be helpful. And hopefully our girls from this class can come up with an idea and a solution that can help the community to embrace this technology and help it to the advantages of people. We are also very fortunate in a way that because I can say, like, we started pretty early, so we could create a community around our work, especially within the crypto space. And again, Connie and BitGive were one of the very first people and organizations who been really supportive, and we were so grateful to be part of the Gift Track, one of the very first organizations who did a successful fundraiser using their platform, which we raised a certain amount of fund that we could buy actually 13 laptops and ship it to Afghanistan and help our graphic design class, which hold about 60 students, to really follow up their classes. It was very easy to use because it was very transparent, and the donors were kind of like know where the money goes and how we use it, and we could give them updates. So certainly there's a big need for having such platforms in the crypto space to be very transparent, but also connect, this space with a lot of nonprofits that they do great work, but unfortunately they haven't been recognized. So I want to say that it's been definitely very challenging and difficult. I mean, it's within this short time. I wish I could cover a lot of the challenges and issues that we are facing. But for me, really, I want to change the perspective of people about Afghanistan. And I want to tell them that it's not all about war and conflict and ruins. And with the work we do, there's a lot of hope there. And it always reminds me of this saying from Rumi, is a 13th Farsi poet, who says, where there is ruin, there is hope for a treasure. And I think for me, the girls in Afghanistan are the treasures, and investing in their education is helping us to build an Afghanistan 2.0, where the women have a voice, and using crypto and blockchain as a tool to bridge that digital gap and divide will enable them to not only empower themselves, but empower their family and communities. And hopefully they actually help to have a generation who is peaceful and who is advocate for peace and embracing technology in that way. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And I'm very happy to answer any questions if you have.
Great, thank you so much, Fereshteh. Always just so incredibly inspiring. So I am looking to see if we have questions for Fereshteh. We do have an accolade, Afghan Girls Code rocks. You are amazing, an amazing org doing amazing work. That's from Paul Lam, who just moderated our panel. I think it was right before you. It's kind of a whirlwind today. Do we have any other questions for Fereshteh? I know People may be putting them in Slack, and I'm not sure. I'm not seeing anything coming into me to feed to you. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm surprised with all of the amazing work you're doing that we don't have any questions for you. Let's see.
There's one, Stephen.
Here we go. Yes. Okay. So Stephen Chu, if hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. What has been the progress of getting an ATM locally for fiat cash out?
So we've just brainstorming, because I think that one of the issues that we have is security concern, especially if we want to have an ATM, we want to see to find a safer space. So regarding Afghanistan, we were thinking maybe we start with putting the ATM in the school itself. And then once the girls learn how to use it, then we can go and talk to the local money exchangers and see if they are interested to put that and kind of like engage with more people. We have a list of a couple of companies through the people we know that they do work with the ATM, and we try to talk to them. And honestly, as a nonprofit, we want to see if we can, have it as an in-kind donations, or anyone wants to sponsor us, because it's certainly a huge financial burden for us. But I personally am very, very interested and eager to make that happen no matter what, because I think that's a key for us for the next step to really implement and let the people know about this technology in Afghanistan.
That would be pretty amazing.
Yes.
Let's see, we do have a couple more questions. First, Anne Connolly said, congrats on all your great work. The next is Vasant. She says, or he says, thank you very much. It is very influential, your work. I want to ask, after receiving crypto, do the girls cash out the amounts? And if not, is that a factor motivation for the girls? A factor of motivation for the girls?
Where yes and no. Some of them they keep it, some of them they cash it. It's just only because that's their only source of income, and they want to and that's the first time ever for them to receive any payment. So they want to, cash it out to not only buy themselves. Like we had one student who bought herself a laptop and she was very happy. And we had some students who helped their family with their financial issues. But we always encourage them to save some, because we know that it has a potential. And some of them actually could spend the crypto buying online, but online meaning like more books and credit cards for their phone, things like that, rather than tangible things. But absolutely, yes.
That's awesome. I love it. I hope we can do another project with you guys and have the funding going to the girls. Okay, so the next one is from Kanal. What is the Afghan government's official position on cryptocurrencies? Have they said anything publicly yet?
That's a very good question, because I actually tried to reach out to some of them, especially in the Ministry of, Finance and Telecom and Interior, to know that if you want to bring an ATM, what would be the rules. But it's interesting that there's still very lack of information within those ministries. So they don't have any policies, rules, or regulations regarding that, I can say. So it's not something that they passed. So it's very ambiguous for us to also if we bring that ATM, what would be the rules and regulations. But I personally definitely would love to work alongside the government and make sure that everything is happening smoothly within Afghanistan.
Wonderful. So cool. Okay, so I'm looking up, we have, wow, okay, lots of stuff coming in. The next one is from Maria Galippi. Hi, Mom. She says, hi, Fereshteh, congratulations on your work. What an amazing opportunity for the girls in Afghanistan. Absolutely agreed.
Thank you.
Let's see, one more. Brian, incredibly inspiring work. Congrats to all. What would be your top 3 wishes for 2021 for Code to Inspire? Great question.
Yes, so we just enrolled, where we just actually had an entrance exam of 200 students 2 days ago to have our promise of helping or in educating 100 girls. So we're going to bring 100 girls this year to our school. So that's number one, to fulfill this for this year, coding classes. But to be honest with you, also, like, I think it's more like a longer, but we can think about it as of now, how we can be sustainable. We want to create a sustainable ecosystem in a way that we don't heavily rely on donations, but also help more students in Afghanistan. And also, I think, like, just to secure as many as job opportunities we can for the girls, it's a priority for us, because we saw a tremendous change in their lives with the projects that we outsource. So that would be such a dream come true, in a way that if you can, create this like pipeline with companies that like automatically, like when a girl graduates from our school, they will get a job.
That would be amazing. I know we would love to bring more of your graduates on to our team at BitGive. So that would be wonderful. Okay, let's see. I think we've answered all the questions, at least that I'm seeing. And I apologize if I'm missing any, because I'm monitoring a lot of different ways that they might come in. So I think we'll wrap up here. Thank you so much, Fereshteh, for being with us today. It's absolutely an honor. And as I said, I am truly inspired by your work every single day. I just can't, I'm speechless. It is very important and very inspiring work. And I hope we can continue to work together more.
My pleasure, Connie. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone for taking your time joining this session. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.